The town will soon make improvements to 2 of the water wells in Hyannis, and the Community Impact Unit is working to make Hyannis Main Street safer. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Wednesday, May 27th, 2015. I'm Sarah Mannel. A plan to install a carbon filtration system for 2 Hyannis water wells moves forward. Last night, the Conservation Commission gave the project its approval. Commissioner Scott Blazes talked about the need for the filtration system before the vote.
What we're proposing here is a carbon filtration system that's in principle the same as what is being utilized at the Camp Edwards and for removal of Mass Military Reservation for the purpose of removing British RDX and other contaminants. But there's a lengthy list of emerging contaminants that is being studied for potential human health consequences, and this carbon filtration will remove not just the target pollutant, this fire retardant, but it'll remove all sorts of other organics. So it's an expensive high technology solution, but it's going to provide much higher quality water to the residents of Hyannis. It's just it's a great thing.
The Conservation Commission voted unanimously to support the project. The Board of Health also gave its nod of approval. The state's Department of Environmental Protection will now review the plan within the next 7 days. The town of Barnstable must complete the project by July 18th. The Barnstable Police Community Impact Unit is working to connect homeless individuals in Hyannis to services. We find out more with Barnstable This Morning host Sarah Colvin.
The Community Impact Unit has been hard at work on Main Street, Hyannis, so working with some of the issues that we have. And today to talk about the work that they do and some of the goals that they have, I welcome Sergeant Jean Chalice, Officer Jason Sturgis, and the newest member, a licensed independent clinical social worker, Charlene Poliquin. Good morning and welcome all of you to our studio.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you so much. So, Sergeant Chalice, I'll start with you and talk a little bit about the mission of the Community Impact Unit. Tell us a little bit about your team.
Well, there are 3 officers assigned to the unit, and we recently added Charlene. Our goal is really to help address some of the needs of the population that's been problematic out on Main Street. Some of them are homeless, some of them just tend to come out during the day and cause problems for the businesses and the people that live in Hyannis. But our goal was really to see what the issues were that they were facing and why they were out there all the time, and try to link them with services that might help them change their lifestyle a little bit and become more productive and more healthy.
Absolutely, and your unit is assigned specifically to Main Street, Hyannis. So talk to me a little bit about how you patrol. Is it something that, are you guys walking up and down Main Street? Are you in cars? Are you on bikes? Is it a combination of those things?
Well, last summer we primarily were out on foot, and we made an effort to get into every business right off the bat, introduce ourselves, let people know who we were, what our goals were, and since then, as the weather changed, we were forced into vehicles a little bit more, and we've taken on a few more administrative tasks, so we haven't had that strong physical presence of late, but we're trying to get back out there now, and we've had a lot of support from the other shifts in terms of having a presence out there. But we didn't really use the bikes a lot last summer. We may change that up as the weather gets better. And it's been sort of a mix of foot patrol, cruisers, and even though our target area was Main Street, we found that there are problems with people in mental health crisis and with substance abuse issues all over town. So while primarily we focus on Main Street, we have had issues come up elsewhere that we've dealt with.
And do you find those are the issues that you are absolutely dealing with the most, are those mental health and substance abuse issues?
Absolutely.
Indeed, and that certainly has got to be a big challenge, to be able to deal with it. And I think that's why Charlene has joined on board. So let's talk a little bit about Charlene's role and how she just recently started working with you, but I think you're already seeing a difference in the assistance she's been able to provide.
We had a great relationship developed with the Department of Mental Health last spring, and we were able to have Charlene come out with us several times over the past summer, and other clinicians too, and we really were able to see what kind of a value that had, just because of the presence of someone who knew the resources available, how to engage a lot of these people that were really tough to break down barriers with. And Officer Ellis successfully wrote a grant application, and through the grant funds we were able to bring a clinician on part-time, and Charlene's been able to fill that role for us, so let her.
Yeah, Charlene, tell us a little bit about your work.
Well, so far what I've been doing is writing with each of these officers, responding to, I think, clinical needs that clients have that are in crisis, that are interfacing with or interfering with business operation on Main Street, et cetera. They're kind of struggling out there. And what we do is build a relationship, try to hook them up to appropriate services, deal with whatever's going on in the moment, try to de-escalate the crisis, and try to get them into some better, more appropriate services.
Now, I think that sometimes, you know, when we think about especially the homeless population and many of them that are out on Main Street, Hyannis, it must be a challenge to try and encourage them to go find the services. Do you find that I mean, obviously everybody's different, but I think that there are some who just may not be ready for that or may not want to go to that. And do you find that you're able to kind of help those who initially may not have wanted to find that help kind of turn the light on and say, okay, this is going to make my life better?
I think this team has done that. It'd be too premature for me to take any kind of credit. This team has really built a great relationship with our people that are struggling with the issues of homelessness, addiction. And so when I come as part of that team, they are more willing to talk to me. But the CIT team laid a great foundation. So these officers they're really making my work easier. So what I try to do is offer whatever services we have available. Sometimes it's as basic as first getting them health insurance, getting them some safety, a shelter, and then figuring out, are they ready for any type of change? Sometimes we have success, sometimes it takes multiple tries. But I think we continue to work until we get it right.
Absolutely. And Jason, want to bring you into the conversation a little bit. Tell me a little bit about your experience and your work out there as a member of the Community Impact Unit.
Well, I found one of the things that we did, I think, pretty rapidly, but I think the first couple of months we spent our time trying to break down the traditional barriers of communication between ourselves and the homeless population. And I think we've been pretty successful with that in that people, I think traditionally there's kind of an adversarial relationship there, and now it's, not for the whole community, but for, I would say the vast majority, they have a measure of trust with our unit, with the people that are assigned to it. And they're not afraid of us, and they know that they can come to us, and that if we come around and we want to talk to them, we're not looking to throw them in jail or anything. We're actually looking to hook them up with transitional services if they're willing. And what that's bred is these people are seeking us out, almost as outreach, seeking us out to help plug them into services that they're eligible for. And that's why it's great to have Charlene with us now, because she knows how to navigate that system where we're not experts in the mental health field, but we've identified certain people that need these services, and now we can bring Charlene to them, and she can offer them what's actually available and get them some meaningful help.
Just one meeting at Town Hall tonight. The Zoning Board of Appeals meets in the Town Hall hearing room at 7. Well, be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we have our golf segment. We'll also hear from Town Councilor Will Crocker. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.